20 of Trapped in My Mind. I'm your host, Seth, and today with me, I got my good buddy, Trevor.
What's going on, man?
What's up, man? It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while.
We used to play hockey together for what? Probably over the course of like 8 years, but only every other year.
Yeah.
Because I'm one year older than him. So.
Yeah, it was fun times. Wish I could go back, honestly.
Dude, yeah, I miss playing because now you can play beer league, but it's just for me, it's not the same.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not as competitive, and just doesn't fill that what do you say, gap, like how you want to do it.
Yeah, I would agree. I think, well, I mean, you can't hit in it. Besides maybe like a couple leagues just hitting, but
some of the guys get rowdy. But yeah, no, you can't hit in it, and it's like you can just tell it's not competitive, like not as competitive as when you're like fighting for like a championship or like a medal or something like that.
Yeah, well, and not everybody, but a lot of the people are drunk, and like then they'll just start fight sets for bullshit. It's not for me. But yeah, honestly, I can't tell you the last time you played. So are you still playing?
I just sub in here and there, like on a couple teams.
Okay.
Friday night league in Livonia, and then Sunday night in Redford every once in a while.
Okay. Still enjoying it?
Not as much as I used to, but it's more just for the beer now.
Yeah, hey, no shame in that. That's why the only reason I play sports at all anymore is for the socializing, to be honest with you, and the exercise, I suppose.
Yeah.
But, yeah, glad you came out, man. Like I said, it's been a minute. One of the first things you kind of wanted to talk about was our generation, which I think could go down lots of different avenues. So, just I guess just to start with it, what was your thinking when that kind of came to your mind of our generation? What did you want to speak to mostly?
I really just wanted to speak on like the fact that we're kind of all like consumed in this modernized world now, and like almost addicted to our phones. It's like everybody's kind of checking their phones for notifications from their friends or from random people and all this, and it's like I feel like it really like boosts everybody's ego in a way and like makes them be to what they're not. Is it like that would make sense? Yeah.
So like do you mean like putting an image of themselves out there that's not actually the case?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like portraying like a false narrative.
Yeah.
I'd say.
For sure, and I think that's sparked by social media, right?
Yeah.
What you see and what you want people to see of you.
Yeah, exactly.
So
like the thing that got me about it was I noticed like I was constantly on Instagram and I was constantly on Twitter and just like I was wasting so much time throughout my day. And it was like almost, have you ever been like looking at your phone like so long that like your eyes hurt or like you feel uncomfortable? Like I hated that feeling.
Yeah.
Like didn't want to feel like that anymore. So then I started like putting my phone down a little bit more and like picking up different hobbies and stuff like that. And it made me feel like, I don't know, less like I was attached, like I had this thing attached to me.
Yeah. And
helped me socialize with people a lot better. Like I felt like I was really socially awkward.
Okay.
Like when I used my phone a lot. But
really?
Yeah.
I never pegged you as one that was socially awkward.
Really? I feel like I was.
Like when it came to like meeting people in person, you kind of... Really?
Yeah, like meeting people in person or like even just like having conversations, like I couldn't, like I was always looking for like my phone. Like to where I could like, I don't want to have this conversation anymore and go look at my phone and do something different.
So if you can remember, just based off that, as a kid before maybe we were so consumed with our phones, did you notice yourself being socially awkward or?
No, that was the thing. Like I remembered there was like, I don't know, there was kind of like a turning point where I was like, I don't remember being like this. Like I don't remember like I couldn't like talk to somebody if I needed to talk to them or like had like to, I don't know how to explain it. But like, how do I say it? Damn, sorry.
You're good. You're good.
I just got really fucking nervous.
No, that's completely fine. So, I mean, I get it sometimes too. Like, for example, let's say I'm at a party and I don't know anybody there. I'm sure shit probably going to be on my phone, right?
Exactly.
Because it's just kind of like a safe space to... If you're just some random guy looking around the room, well, then you might look kind of weird. But if like you're on your phone, no one's going to bat two
nobody's going to think about it.
Is that what you were kind of thinking?
Yeah, that's exactly. You just kind of explained it a lot better than I was trying to.
No. I mean, yeah, and I would say that's, especially like you said, for example, having the feeling of like your eyes being tired. I was on my computer screen all fucking day. There's 2 monitors. Now I'm on this computer screen. We're not looking at it.
Yeah.
But I also have like phones I'm on all the time. So it is exhausting. Like, honestly, what I've noticed for me anyway is, like, I wouldn't say that I don't think, have gotten, like, the social anxiety or, like, the nervousness bug of using phones, right? Like, if I'm at a party, most often than not, even if I don't know many people, I'll still try to make conversation. But what I will say is, for me, when I'm on, like, phones all day or on my computer all day, it feels so fucking good to put it down and just take a breath, because I feel like it's so consuming that I feel like I get myself worked up, like, oh my gosh, I have so much shit to do, or I have so much shit to check in on, or I have to go, broadcast this or sponsor this or make people know about this. And it's like, when I remove that, it's like, oh.
Yeah, it's like a calming feeling.
Yeah, it's like exhaling, like, serious.
Yeah, so. And it was just like, for me, I just couldn't, like, I didn't like going places and not, like, feeling like myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like me being on my phone as much and me, like, worrying about, like, what other people are doing or, like, who's hanging out with who, and it was like, I don't want to feel like that, or, like, even, like, want to feel like that.
Yeah.
Like, why do I care what these people are doing?
Yeah.
So why do I need to look at my phone and see it every day?
Yeah.
So I was just, as soon as I, like, I started putting my phone down more and started going outside, doing more things, and, like, started being, like, more interactive with people, I started to get better conversations, and, like, I started to become more social, you would say.
Okay.
And
so would you say the people that you were kind of keeping up on social media, is that a separate group of people than the people that you spend your time with?
Kind of both. Like, it was kind of like I was focusing more on, like, what other people were doing, and I was like, why aren't I doing that? Why wouldn't I be doing that? Oh, I could do that, but not go and do anything, or, like, I would just be sitting there, and it's like, okay, why would I put, like, myself in a position where I'm sitting here doing nothing, watching other people have fun?
Yeah.
It's like, when I could go out and do it.
Yeah.
But instead, I'm just sitting here being a lazy piece of shit.
Yeah. So it's almost kind of like and I hate this term, but, like, FOMO type thing. Like, you're seeing all these people do shit, you're like, well, what am I doing right now?
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
watching them do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, I was over having that feeling, so I noticed that it was because I was just, whenever I would get bored, I would just pick my phone up. But I was bored all of the time because I'm just sitting there on my phone.
Yeah.
So it was like, I forget what that word is, but it's like, they were playing a part in each other.
Yeah.
It was like, me not doing anything and going on my phone was resulting in me spending more time on my phone.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't want to do it anymore, and I just kind of, like, turned all my notifications off first for all my apps, like, deleted any games I had on my phone, and then was just kind of over it at that point. So now it's like before, I couldn't sit here and have a conversation with you. I would be holding my phone or, like, trying to, like, mess with it and go on Instagram, and it's like, I don't want to do that. It's like rude to you, and, like, rude to the people that are, like, listening to this. So it's like, why would I even? I don't want to feel, like, attached to it.
Well, yeah, that, and also, like, for example, if I was on my phone and you're talking, I'm only, like, I don't know the percentage, but partially listening to you. Like, I'm not really into the conversation.
Yeah.
So not only is it rude, and, if I was on my phone, you would get the idea that I don't give a shit, and also the feedback I'd be giving you would be, very minimal. I'd just be like, yeah, okay. So it's like, you leave the conversation not feeling very good because you're like, well, fuck, that guy doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And I leave the conversation not knowing that I even really had the conversation, because it's like, well, I was looking at, Kim and Kanye's divorce.
Yeah.
like, there's some shit that really doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I feel like that plays, like, it plays, like, a big part in, like, the world that we live in now, and how, like, you can post something and get, like, millions of reactions from it, and it goes viral, and then it changes the way a bunch of other people look at it. And it's like, it can change your life. Yeah. But are you going to spend, like, every moment trying to post something to, like, make yourself go viral?
Yeah, that's the thing is, and it's funny that they call them influencers, because really that's what they're doing, is they're influencing things based on what they are putting out there.
Yeah. And
the issue is, that's a blimp of what they really are, what they're really doing. It's not, I don't think it's what they're actually doing 24/7. These influencers, they're not these cool people that I aspire to be. So it's crazy to me because like I know it's out there, and obviously it works because they have several followers and whatnot. You know, all these big people that are trying to go viral, and then the ones that are. But I want to know, like, I guess who is feeding that, because this isn't to like put me above anybody else. I use social media for sure, but like all the like major bullshit like influencers that I just do not give a fuck about. I don't understand how they got such a big platform, and I don't even know where I was going on that line. But it's just crazy to me how like we can just put somebody up on a pedestal because they look hot, guy or girl.
Yeah, and the thing, like what you just said, like how do they even get to where they are? Like how do this many people like want to see you do whatever it is you're doing?
Because humans are fucking simple and we're dumb.
Yeah.
So we see something and it's like, ooh, damn, okay.
Yeah.
And you keep watching and watching and watching, and now what people are doing is they can track how much you've spent time like on their profile and then monetize it. So it's like, well, Seth just spent 2 hours looking at this person's profile because he must like something about it. And he's not the only one. There's 200,000 other people doing that. So now we're going to pay this person to post our ads because we're using that we want them to influence because we know people are looking at them. Yeah. So it's all a big fucking, marketing employee, really.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, and the thing, like, it just doesn't make sense to me, like, that, like, I use social media still, but I just don't use it as much as I did. Like, I was the type of person that would, like, be posting, like, every, like, 5 minutes or, like, tweeting every, like, nonstop, and I'm like, why am I just voicing my opinion, like, to all of these people for no reason?
Yeah, dude, I would say I 100% agree. Yeah. Social media, especially for me, it was Twitter, was very easy to, like, if, let's say you're an impulsive person, let's say you're an impulsive person and, like, maybe you're not going through a good time, right? You're just fucking, all right, well, let's see what I can put out here and see if, like, I get some gratification for it. And then almost 100% of the time, or I would say 100% of the time, you feel like shit because, like, you're not getting the response you want. No one gives a shit. Yep. And also, you just, became vulnerable to all these people. People probably saw and just fucking disregard, like, who cares? So
exactly.
And then you feel even worse because you're like, well, no one cared. So, but it's so weird because, like, I don't know how to, like, for me, the reason that stopped is because I kept feeling even worse and worse and worse, but I see people still doing it, and it's like, why? I don't get it. Why? Yeah. Why did I do it?
Yeah, exactly. And, like, I posted something today that was, like, a reshare from somebody else, and it was just, like, a quote saying, like, you post a picture on Instagram, you get 20 likes, but you post that same picture on your story, and you'll get 200 views. But this just shows you that, like, this many people are watching you, but how many of them, like, actually like you or actually, like, do that? And it's like, that's actually, like, really true. Like, why are you just watching me? Like, you're getting enjoyment out of just, like, sitting there like, oh, this is what Trevor's doing today.
It's weird. I mean, it is weird. Like, you're right. Usually, like, if let's say, okay, so let's think about in an in-person scenario. If I like watching you like do some shit and I'm just staring, and like you look and I don't give any reaction, that's really fucking weird.
That is the weirdest thing.
Because normally, like, if you're doing something and like you see me looking, you might like give me a nod or like a wave or even come talk to me. But it's like, you're right. You post some shit and I literally just creep in the corner and look at what you're doing. It's like a fly in the wall. Yeah, it's really weird.
And I mean, honestly, have you noticed, like, if you go out to places or like you go out to the mall, like, remember when, like, you would walk through the mall when you're younger and, like, you'd see somebody and you would have, like, that reaction? Like, you see, like, say I saw you walking through the mall, like, you'd look at me and you'd, like, nod or, like, look away or, like, do some sort of, like recognition.
Expression.
Yeah, like, to realize that I'm there. Now it's just, like, you walk through the mall and there's just people just, like, sitting there staring at you. And they just don't have any reaction. They're just, like, looking at you and you're like, do I look away? Do I, like, what do I do? And they put you in that, like, awkward position where you're like, all right, I'm just going to keep walking.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can see that too. Is like you'll see lots of people who are like on social media the most outgoing people, right? And then you see them in person, or you know this person, and you're just like, dude,
oh yeah,
you are not like that in person. So it's like, where's the gap? But it's because people can be whatever the fuck they want to be on on the internet. Yeah. So I mean, what do you think that has as a long-term effect?
As a long-term effect, honestly, I think that like it's just gonna kind of like. It tears away at, like, your social skills and, like, our normal, like, human, like, what are the, like...
Instincts?
Yeah, like, instincts. Like, you were born and raised to talk to people, to have like conversations like that we're having right now. But what happens if you take away, like, you put a wall between us and we only talk to each other through a computer, or like we only talk to each other over the phone? Like, if I see you in person, it is going to be a very weird conversation, because you'll notice like differences that you've never seen before, or maybe that person does something that you don't like, but they didn't portray that.
Yeah.
And like, I just feel like that would have an effect that would like just like a world changing thing.
No, I think you're right. And hearing you kind of talk through that, it kind of like makes me think of like how a lot, at least for me, a lot of work situations are now virtual. They're not in person. So it's like, it's going to feel weird if I ever do have to go in person, because I'm so acclimated to not doing it now. And even just working with people virtually, I feel like I might talk to somebody every day, but I don't know jack shit about them, because you just don't interact with them ever.
Yeah, and you lose like those skills that you've had, that like you were always taught, and that you never were taught. You just knew how to do.
Yeah. Because
of something something's being taken away. Like, I'm not physically being there with you, so I don't like say, I'm not saying you are, or if you are a cigarette smoker, but like, say you smoke cigarettes, right? You never tell me I smoke cigarettes. I see you, I FaceTime you, I see you posting all the time. Then I get there and I see you smoking cigarettes, and I'm like, oh, that may change how I feel about you.
Yeah.
But, and I'm not saying it would, but you know what I'm saying. Like, it just doesn't.
I agree.
Yeah.
I would say even more so for dating too. Like,
let's say I'm that's a big thing.
Like, that's like, and because I'll be flat out blunt, I wouldn't date you if you smoke cigarettes. Sorry if that gets me canceled.
Yeah.
But like, if I was like, and I had this problem when I was on like the social online, dating profiles. And I have a wonderful girlfriend now, so she doesn't have to pay attention to this part. But like, you don't know what somebody's about, and then you go to meet them, and maybe they're a stoner and that doesn't match your lifestyle, or they smoke cigarettes and you're not cool with that, or maybe they have a fucking kid and you had no idea. So it's like, and I feel like these are conversations you'd know if you just saw them in person or observed them in person. Which is so weird, because it's like, I feel like in high school, even though people had phones, most of the time when you were in relationships with people, friends or non, it was high school friends, so you already observed them, you've seen how they exist, so you know all these things. And now it's like, a lot of my friendships or relationships come from, like, oh, I saw you online. So you don't know shit about them until you've already started hanging out with them a few times after you expressed interest. Yeah.
And it's like, maybe you hang out with that person that one time and you guys kick it off and it's amazing, but like, then you hang out with them more and you start to realize like, oh, maybe this person isn't who I thought they were. Or maybe there's more about this person that I had no idea about.
Yeah.
And it like kind of like pushes you away from there.
Yeah.
But it's like, you don't get that upfront like knowledge anymore, because it's not like I see you or I grew up with you and I know exactly who you are. If I would have never met you and I walked in here today, I would have no idea how to have a conversation with you.
Really? Yeah.
Because it's just you don't have those normal like instincts that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Like just the normal social skills.
Yeah, I agree, and I think, like you said, like if you're in the mall and you're seeing somebody, lots of people are just staring, right? You have a lot of, I've noticed, you have a lot of awkward interactions with people, and I don't think it's because people are just inherently awkward. Maybe some people are, some people aren't. I think, like you said, it might be an accumulation of somebody who's so enthralled in their phone or their computer screen that now when they're in person, they want to be social and but they just don't fucking know how.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. How would you think? Let's be realistic. We're never going to get rid of phones or some type of virtual thing. So how do you combat that to make sure people still have social skills, in your opinion?
I would just say, see, and that's so hard to do because, like you just said, you can't get rid of phones. Like, the world's constantly evolving, and like, there's no way to like just get rid of, like, you can't just delete Instagram today and just be done with it. But no, I would just say like, make more interactions, like right off the bat, like, let's go do this, let's do this, instead of, because that's kind of how I am now. Like, I don't really like swipe up on people's stuff and just like ask them anything or anything like that, or just like I'll send like a reaction here or there, but it's mostly like if I want to like meet you or I want to talk to you, like I'll swipe up and just be like, hey, what are you doing? Let's go do this. And it's either you get, all right, yeah, let's do it. Or, yeah, dude, that sounds good. Or, no. And just nothing.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And it's like that, rather than like, it's kind of like beating around the bush.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not like gonna just sit here and like text you like I know you when I literally know your profile.
Yeah.
And I know like the conversation that we've maybe had for, I don't know, like 3 or 4 responses.
Yeah.
I know nothing about you.
Yeah.
So to avoid that, I'm just gonna simply ask who you are and what you want to do. And just kind of, instead of beating around the bush, it's like you meet that person and then you see like who they actually are and not this like figure that they portray. Yeah,
I wanted to ask you to see if you had the same opinion as me. I would say I agree. You really have to lean in and trying to make human interaction and relationships, which is something that's true for work. If you're working virtual or if you're just existing in the world, you have to try to really lean into meeting people. But it's so weird because, for example, I would be the same way as you. If I saw somebody I wanted to meet, I would probably say, hey, you want to meet up?
Yeah.
And so many people are like put off by that, like, oh, you fucking weirdo. And it's
Yeah.
like, why is that weird? Like, I'm not asking you to, fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Or I'm not some like weird. I mean, I guess it's because those people exist, but like,
yeah.
I don't want to waste my time on a bullshit conversation before I make my judgment of you. I'd rather just, hey, my initial opinion is that you look interesting, whether it's a friendship, relationship, whatever. Let's hang out and see if that's right. If not, we hung out once, no longer a waste of time. I'm not going to invest so much time trying to fucking investigate you and have a virtual conversation to only realize that maybe it's a waste of time when I meet you in person. I don't like who you are.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that goes for like relationships or just like friends, like stuff like that. Like it kind of goes to everything rather than just like a specific like section. Like, how do I explain this? Sorry, I am a horrible talker. I'm just
we are all. Dude, I say so much shit that doesn't make any sense, and for some reason, I just keep going with it. So, by all means.
But no, like it just, instead of like just trying to have like pointless conversations and stuff that's gonna go nowhere, just skip all of that and just meet the person or meet the people in person and see what they're about. See how they are, see how they act, and if they feel like they fit you, then continue talking to them or do what you say. Just no hard feelings, out the way, like on to something else.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think what you just said reminded me of a TED Talk I watched called, I believe it's called Big Talk. So it was this, and I might butcher the story if I am, forgive me, but from what I gathered from it, I watched it a while ago, some lady, she moved out of state to go to college, and she kind of felt like, out of place and hated doing like the small conversation bullshit. So she put on this project where she went around and just started asking people like really deep questions right off the rip, like before even, hey, how are you? Just hi, blank, and like because most people oftentimes want to talk about those things because it's all what makes us human. Instead of, oh yeah, the weather, man, it's fucking snowing. Can you believe that? It's gonna be 70 this weekend. Like, yeah, no shit. Yeah. That's a fact we all know, but it's something that like weather and sports people always revert to. They don't know what to say because it's common. But like, if I was just like, hey Trevor, what would you do tomorrow if you're gonna die today?
Yeah,
that might start like an interesting conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you might be like, oh, what the fuck? This guy's weird. But it's totally different. Thinking of 2 different ways to have conversations and relationships with people. One of them is very surface level and bullshit, which maybe it's necessary, I don't know. And one of them is a little bit more authentic, but maybe uncomfortable for some people.
Yeah. And, I mean, it's funny you said that earlier about, like, getting canceled. And I just thought, like, the way you said it, it was like, it's kind of scary that it's like that now. Like, you can't just ask a person, like, hey, do you want to meet up? Like, you could get canceled for that, or you could be viewed, like, weird or looked at differently for something as simple as just, like, hey, who are you? Like, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Like, just like a normal date, like, if I were to walk up and meet you, like, what would I say? Like, hey, what's going on, man? Like, do you want to go to the gas station? You want to go get food? Like, just something to spark a conversation to lead to something else.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, it's like, no, you have to say hi back. You have to ask how their day's doing. You have to ask like all of this extra stuff, and like that you could be having that conversation in person,
mm-hmm.
and you could get an actual like legitimate answer, not something that you could sit there for 5 to 10 minutes and think about an answer and then send it.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it's not like that's not you. That's something that you thought of because you thought I would like it.
Yeah, it's rehearsed.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I was gonna say, I wish that is how it could be, because I think there'd be a lot more fun experiences and a lot less bullshit. However, for one reason or another, I think a lot of people might be uncomfortable with that because, for example, like predators out there, or like, you know, like, for example, or like, you were saying, if you message me like, hey, what's up, man, like on social media or whatever, I feel like the people who I get random DMs from that say something like that are like bots, or like, you know, so it's like,
dude.
So like if somebody genuinely actually said that, I would be like, hold on.
Yeah, is this person real?
Is this a real person? Are they gonna like send me a link to subscribe to their premium channel?
Yeah, like where is this gonna go?
But I wish it wasn't that way, because I would much prefer that. But it's just like, you have so many different people who would take advantage of all these different situations that now we always have to fucking be on guard. And I think why a lot of people, and myself included sometimes, will send just bullshit conversations and just surface level conversations, because it's a way of us trying to feel out, you know, who we're talking to. But like you said, in doing all that, you think you're going to be saving yourself time, but really, you end up spending more time and energy than if you were to say, yeah, let's hang out, and then oftentimes, even if it doesn't go well, now you have at least an experience instead of just, you know, a blip on a telephone or a cell phone where you had a conversation. Does that make any sense at all?
I don't know. I think so.
Okay. Sometimes I just go on these tangents, and you know, I apologize. But I did want to ask. So we kind of discussed the effects we might think of it on ourselves. What do you think about future generations?
So for future generations, I think I have nieces and nephews, and dude, it drives me crazy whenever I pull up to their house, because they always answer the door, or like as soon as I walk in the door, that's the first thing they're doing. Like one of them's playing Fortnite, the other one's like watching YouTube on a tablet that's bigger than him, and like it's just like you don't have that like interaction that you would normally have. So like I feel like for the future generations, it's just going to affect social skills to where people aren't going to be able to have like have like a normal conversation. Like it's just going to create such like a defensive like standpoint right from like the beginning, like because they're always going to be waiting for you to say something like a trigger almost. Like they're waiting for you to slip up, or waiting for you to say something like out of the ordinary, so they can turn around and post it, or they can turn around and like what's the word, like
exploit.
Yeah, exploit. What you could say, exploit, like exploit you for it, so they could get attention for it.
Yeah, that's the fucked up thing too.
Yeah.
Is, oh man, it's so sometimes it actually makes me laugh. Is you'll see somebody like as soon as somebody has a good accomplishment, no matter what their past is, you look in the comments and there's somebody fucking digging to just put them down. No matter, it could be The Rock, you know.
Yeah.
I think everybody likes Rock. I've never seen anything negative about him come out, and hopefully this doesn't trigger that. But like, he could post something, and I bet you there'll be somebody in the comments like, "Well, you know, he fucking punched a girl in 5th grade." It's like, fuck, dude. Why
he did this back in '92?
Yeah, it's like, why do you feel like you're gonna get some gratification from shitting on somebody else because you want the attention for it? I really do not get that.
Yeah,
I don't get that at all, and I wish that wasn't, you know, how it is. Would you say that kind of preventing our younger generation or our future generation to have those weird habits of non-social skills would also be fixed by encouraging them to lean into their, you know, human interaction and stuff like that?
Yeah, I feel like it would. I feel like they just like they're not gonna like. We need those social skills, and I feel like if you take away a lot of those social skills, what does that leave you with? It doesn't really leave you with anything.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes time to say like due to COVID, like we're all in lockdown, everybody is inside. Do you know how much stuff blew up last year? Like just viral moments and like stuff like that. I feel like the internet and like social media like went like 3 times higher than it normally would have because of that.
Yeah. How much of that was positive though?
Yeah. See, exactly. Like I don't think a lot of it was positive.
Yeah.
I feel like more like negative stuff was getting exploited than anything. Like it was more of like a cancel culture type thing. It was like one of those waves.
And that's what my brother was talking about on his episode was, and I'm guilty of it. I think a lot of us are guilty of it. The reason we see more bad news is because we as consumers enjoy seeing more bad news. Or maybe not enjoy is the word, but if I see a good title and a bad title, and maybe not me personally, but most people will click the bad title because it's more interesting, because it's just like, it's almost more outlandish, like how could this happen, as where if I see something good happen, it's like, well, that's what humans should be doing.
Yeah.
Which is fucked up because, yeah, it is what humans should be doing, but we don't do a lot of it, or we don't show a lot of it, and we don't support a lot of it, so why do we give all of our attention to the negative and kind of brush the positive under the rug? And that's something I'm trying to get better about, is like, if I see like a bullshit story going around, don't even, like, I mean, obviously you'll see like the topic, stop it right there. Or like if I see like something's trending, like for example when politics was coming around, muted that shit from my timeline. I'm like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Well, I care, but I can't stand to look at this because there's just so much negativity, and like no matter what your opinion is, there's gonna be a bunch of fucking people who hate you for it. So it's like, yeah.
It's like when it comes to politics, it's like I care, but I care to a certain extent. It's like I care to go do my own research. Like, you don't have to show me reasons not to like this person or not to vote for this person or like stuff like that. And I'm not a big politics person either, so it's like I was never too fond of it. But like, especially like now that I'm getting older, like I need to start paying attention to some of this stuff because it's important. It's what's going to determine the rest of my life. And this past election, I found myself just like going down these like rabbit holes of just like information that you can tell is just all gossip. Or it's like just doesn't have like a meaning.
Yeah.
So, and it's like, if I wanted to say I wanted to vote for this person, I'm going to go do my own research. You don't have to show me like the stuff about this. It's like, I just feel like the news on social media now is so like exploited and just like blown out of proportion. Like they get way more like attention than they need to be.
Yeah, because people find it interesting. They talk about, did you see that debate?
Yeah.
You know, Trump cut him off 10 times. Biden slurred his word 10 times. Like, it's just like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's just like, no, I don't care about that stuff. I want to know what is he going to do to change, what is he going to do to change the issues we have now, and what is he going to do for my future?
Yeah. Yeah, politics is a tough one for me because I will say, I think it might have been on the podcast or maybe it wasn't, but I said that I don't care that much. And then somebody kind of walked me through it, and it kind of made me feel shitty. And not because, they weren't shitty, but what they said made me feel shitty because I should care about politics because it affects me and the greater, the greater country. And when I say I don't care, it's because I'm in a position where no matter what I do, I'm not really affected by it one way or the other. But I should probably start caring about the people who are affected by it. And that's something that, like, kind of hit me because I'm like, fuck, yeah, you're right. For me personally, I have never felt any differences in who's leading the country. All I can see is, like, the turmoil on social media, but I think that'll be there no matter who's there. But I should still care because even if I don't feel affected, my peers or people, maybe who I don't even know, may or may not be affected one way or not strongly by, depending on who's in charge. It's like, I should maybe be conscious of that, but I don't do my own research because I don't care, or I didn't, and now I need to start doing it, and I'm still bad, but I need to start looking more into that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that, with what you just said, because, I mean, I'm the same way. Like, growing up, I never cared about politics. Like, I never cared who was in the chair, or, like, who did what, because I never saw any, like, physical change. But now, like, as I'm getting older, I'm seeing more of, like, the changes that make, like, what their decisions and the changes that they make, and how it affects us, and, like, it's really important, because it's like, we're going to be here for a while, and,
hopefully.
Yeah, I pray, but, yeah, it's like, that plays a big part in our life, especially in, like, our country, because that's who's running the show.
Yeah, and this is a good shift to something else you want to talk about. You said you have a buddy who's living in Ethiopia, right?
No, he's not living in Ethiopia. He's my buddy's brother, but he does like magic. I think his name's Magic Act 313 on Instagram. But he does like he's a jack of all trades, dude. He does like magic. He can do like entertainments. He can produce and do all this stuff. So he's over in Ethiopia right now with this. Don't quote me on this name because I'm not sure if it's correct, but I think it's Muslims of America. And what they're doing is they're basically in Ethiopia and they're like volunteering, and he's doing like magic and like showing like all the kids out there like different tricks and stuff like that, and kind of bringing joy to them.
Mm-hmm.
And he posted this thing, and dude, they have a disease over there that's called cataracts, and it's blind. It takes out your vision.
Yeah.
And it's only $100 for the procedure, and you get your vision back. And there's people that are over there that have like haven't been able to see in forever, and $100 could change that. Like, could literally just change the entire, like, give somebody their vision back. But they don't have that $100 because their poverty is so low. But while we're over here, you know, on our phones and you know, going to parties and going to the bars every night and spending all this crazy money, when it's like we could be shifting and like helping out the world itself. And all of these other people.
Or at the very least, be appreciative for what we have.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's interesting. I mean, I don't know much about cataracts, but I do know that pets in the United States get it. Like, cats will get it, dogs will get it, and we'll take care of that shit, no problem. I don't even know if, like, humans around here do. And if they do, I'm sure it gets taken care of very easily. So it's kind of crazy that you're saying it's almost like a, and this isn't a proper word, but for lack of better words, pandemic down there. Like, a lot of people are having it, and it's an issue that's just not being fixed, and it's not that hard to fix.
Yeah.
But also you have, and again, I don't know if this is Ethiopia or somewhere else, but it exists, starvation. It's like...
Yeah.
Yeah, it is fucked, and it's like something that we at least, I can't say we, but me subconsciously push down, so that way I operate everyday life, but it's something like when I think about it, it's like, okay, yeah, I could cut down here. I could stop being so fucking careless and reckless with my food and just throw it away. So. Yeah,
and it's like, that was the crazy thing to me. Like, he was just on the phone with my buddy the other day when he's over there right now. I think he comes home today. But, and he was talking about, he's like, dude, I'm walking around here and like I have to wear, like, make sure all my zippers are up and all this, because it's like, I got like 5, 6, and 7-year-olds pickpocketing me and like trying to steal my wallet and steal my phone. And it's like, that's sad to see, dude. Like, that there are people in these countries that like don't have the money we have, don't have like any of the stuff that we have, but we don't do anything to like help fix that.
Yeah, and we can't get so mad at them for like wanting to pickpocket them. It's like fucking frustrating.
Yeah,
and if that happened here, it's like, yo, fuck off. But
yeah, but over there, it's like they're trying to survive.
Yeah,
like it's really shitty. I don't know. Maybe like it definitely made me more humble, more like appreciative of the things I have and the things that like I get to do.
Yeah, I like that. I would like to say I'm perfect in that regard, but I definitely have a lot of shit that is wasteful or I'd just say wasteful. Like I take long showers. That could be a lot better. I find myself throwing away food if I let it spoil because I don't eat it, which is fucked up. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people can say that, but they don't like saying it out loud because it makes me seem like a bad person. But that's just that's just the truth of it. But I will say this, a little funny aside, kind of from that conversation. So because I started realizing that I was like wasting drinks all the time, like I'd go out to eat, and really it was with alcoholic drinks. Like I'd order it just because I want to try it, and I'd waste it. It'd be like, dude, I just wasted $5 on a beer I didn't drink. I started this thing back in 2020 where it was empty glass challenge. So anything, if I went out, if I'm home, anything that I order or pour myself or is brought to me, I have to finish it. So that way it's not wasted. So I'm not wasting money. I'm not wasting like the actual like drink.
Yeah.
And I extended this on. I did it all of 2020, and I'm doing it again for 2021. So if anyone's listening, I do challenge you to do empty glass challenge because for one, it's kind of funny. And for two, it's a good practice. I'm trying to do empty plate challenge, but that's just too hard. I need to get better about that. Yeah. But that was just a very quick aside.
Empty glass challenge. I feel bad if you're a big bar guy. You have a big tab.
Yeah, but that's how you get better. But like before, like I would just order a bunch of different shit and like try it all, and I'll order it, and I will fucking finish it before I order another one. The ones that get you is like when you go out to eat, and you have a server who's on top of it. They'll bring you a water when you like barely drink any.
Yeah.
Or like you're halfway done. It's like, fuck, I gotta drink another one, and
yeah.
I'm so full. Those ones are hard, but yeah, it's a fun thing to do, and it does teach you to be less wasteful, I think. So, at least for me, at least with drinks, it's taught me to be less wasteful.
Honestly, maybe I'll try that because that could help me stop like spending so much money. I feel like I waste a lot of money on like food and like drinks that I really don't need. Like I'm the type of person like I go to a restaurant and I see like 6 things and I'm like, all right, I can get 3 of them.
You eat with your eyes.
Yeah, but then I only eat like half of the one dish I actually wanted.
Yeah. And then you tell yourself you'll eat it as leftovers.
Yeah, never happens.
Yeah. There's only like a few certain things. Like, I'll eat Chinese food, Mexican food, and Italian food, and pizza. Most other things, I feel like I won't eat. Or like wings. So I guess that's still a lot, but like,
yeah.
I guess it depends.
Yeah, I couldn't do Italian. Like the pasta, like how do you get the pasta back? Like
the pastas. I always get chicken parmesan. So.
Okay.
So here we are, converted talking about fucking Ethiopia style. The foods that we eat. That's a little fucked up. But,
yeah, a little off track, but...
was there anything else from your friends' brothers' experiences that you kind of wanted to, like... Or that you notice is much different, or is it more so just we are a lot more privileged and we should be mindful of that?
Well, it's actually crazy because when he was telling me that his brother was in Ethiopia, my stepsister Lauren, she was in the Peace Corps. I don't know if you remember that from back in the hockey days, but yeah, she got out of college and she went to the Peace Corps for like 2 to 4 years, and like we barely we talked to her here and there, but you don't really have much communication. And it was like when she came back and seeing like the like changes she had made like in her life and like stuff like that, and seeing like what she was living in and like what she was doing like while she was over there, it was like kind of like mind blowing.
Mm-hmm.
It was like crazy to see because it's just like poverty level so low and like there's literally nothing. Like there's not much out there. So, and seeing that compared to like how we are, where we can literally like leave your house, go get in one of our vehicles and go to McDonald's and spend like $10 on food that'll feed us for what, 2 hours?
Yeah.
When that $10 could go and buy them like a week's worth of food out there.
Yeah, if they made it last.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it is fucking weird. And you know what's shitty too is like, if all I saw like on social media, right, bringing it back full circle, if all I saw on like social media was like, what people had to deal with in some of these like, underdeveloped countries or countries going through a lot of poverty, or even just people in the United States who are not dealing with this much shit, I would feel a lot better about the shit I have, and I wouldn't try to get the biggest house or the most expensive car. But instead, all I see, and maybe it's partially my fault because it's the pages I follow and whatnot, and the people I follow, but I see people getting houses, I see people getting nice cars, I see people going on these vacations. So like, oh fuck, well, I can't get a bullshit house, I can't get a bullshit car, I gotta at least keep up to par with these people. Yeah, and
the crazy thing is like how you just said, like it might be your fault because you follow these people, but you don't even have to follow these people anymore. Yeah. Because now that person can just pay a certain price and get their post sponsored, and then all of a sudden it's on all of our pages, and we have no idea who this person is.
Yeah.
But you still have to see it. It's like, I can't tell you how many stupid giveaways I see on a daily basis. Yeah. Did you ever see those?
Yeah. Like, put like the ones where you say, comment under here, be following us, repost, and tag 3 friends or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And we'll give you, whatever.
That or like the vehicle giveaways where they're like, we're giving away this like brand new Duramax or this brand new Silverado and 30 grand cash. And it's like, okay, that would be cool if I won it, but I really don't care about that truck or you guys or that.
Yeah, you weren't trying to get that truck before you saw that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, why do I want to see it? I don't, but there's no way I can remove it unless I, delete the app or like put my phone down and not go look at it because it all goes off like an algorithm now.
Yeah.
And I just think it's so screwed up. Like I wish like, how like you go on, like you go to buy a car and you can like go through and filter what you want, like if you want a sedan or like what year you want and all that. I wish you could do that for like social media.
Yeah, because you very, very like briefly can. You can tailor certain things, but the bullshit will always pop up.
Yeah.
Regardless. No matter who you... Because I did this I obviously have people I follow, but like there's different topics where like Twitter would just start sending you updates on different topics. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't want to see this topic. Like, I never ever subscribed to seeing shit about this topic, but it would just be coming in as a notification, and you can kind of turn those off and like pick what types of things you like to see in your algorithm. Yeah. Essentially, but I'm not so convinced that it works because, like you said, somebody sends something that's sponsored, you're gonna see it anyway, and just it's fucked up. Yeah. We're just all at the mercy of these companies that are marketing to us. Yeah. Really.
That's honestly what it is too, because it's like they're marketing it to us and they're making money off of it, and then we just are stuck. It's like you just gotta follow it.
Yeah. All right. I did want to pivot to this last one because I'm always curious to see what people have to say about mental health. It's a very broad fucking topic, but you put on your list. So is there something in particular that you wanted to just kind of dive into?
I mean, nothing really in particular. I just kind of like I said, like earlier, like within the past like year or two, I've changed a lot because I was never one to have like depression or anxiety like that growing up. Like, I mean, you knew me when I was a kid. I was crazy. I was insane. Never wanted to like be shy in a room or anything like that. Yeah. And like over the past like year or two, I don't know what it was. I just found like myself like not wanting to like speak about issues I had and like stuff like that. And I see like a lot of my friends like that are open about having like depression and anxiety, but like still like you can tell when they need someone. Like sometimes you can tell and sometimes you can't, but like sometimes you can tell when they need someone to talk to and they don't reach out for help, and you have to there's some friends that I have that like I reach out to and I check to on a daily basis because like it's how it is. And for me, when I was going through that time and I didn't really have anybody like there to talk to me, it kind of sucked. It was like going through that on your own is horrible, and like I do not recommend it for anybody. And find something that like you like, that you really like enjoy. Like if it's something that you did growing up, if it's something that like you don't know yet, like go find something that you can like escape to. Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of people don't have that escape. Like a lot of people don't have something to escape to or something to like get away to, and they kind of build like all this stuff up, and it just you can't do that. It's really bad.
Do you think like phones, social media, technology is kind of an enabler to go deeper down that isolated path of I don't have anybody to reach out to?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, like I said earlier, you don't have that human interaction. It's like you're almost forced to keep everything in because you don't want to post it online, and it's not like you're just going to walk up to somebody. You don't feel comfortable just walking up to somebody and saying, "Hey, I have an issue with this." Like we don't like I used to do it as a kid, but there was a time like when I was going through that hard time that I couldn't do it. Like even my closest friends, like people that I would talk to about anything, they would talk to me about anything. I would just listen to it and just kind of like, okay, like not give them my opinion or my side of it. Mm. And I feel like if you are one of those people and you do like, you don't like to talk about what you do, just start doing it. Just open up and talk about how you feel and like what your issues are, because I feel like it solves a lot of your problems.
Yeah, and that is hard. I mean, I'll say it was hard just to even say it out loud to myself. Yeah. Because, again, trapped in your mind, you have lots of different demons, for lack of a better word, that are just, going 100 miles an hour inside your head. And, like, you want to say something, but you don't even know how to say it to yourself first. So I would say whatever feelings you have or opinions or bullshit you're going through, if you're scared to say it to anybody, try saying it to yourself first, because that's very hard. If you can do that, well, now you put it out there, you said it, and then you can take that and hopefully, bring it to like a friend or a family member or somebody that you can confide in. Yeah. But it is tough.
Yeah, it's really, like I said, it was probably the worst, like, year and a half, 2 years of my life, because it just, you feel trapped in a way. Like you said, trapped in your mind. It's just, you feel like you can't go and talk to them. But there's a lot of people out there that are, like, that don't feel that same way. Like, that can help you and that want to help you. Mm-hmm. But you just need to open up about it. Yeah. And I feel like that is, like, one of the things that was, like, hard for me. Like I told you earlier, like, I stopped drinking, and it was, like, the same way, like, people stop smoking weed or stop, like, doing, like, other things they do. It's because they don't like the feeling. And that's, like, how I was. Like, I stopped drinking because I didn't I didn't like the way it made me feel anymore. So like I still have a beer like every once in a while, but I don't get drunk because it just I don't feel happy. And then that's one of those things that kind of leads back to like depression. Like you're not happy, you're obviously sad, or you're angry, or something's not right with you. And there's a lot of different things that can cause that.
Mm.
So
how would you say? Well, you said your kind of shitty feeling, depression, kind of lasted about a year and a half.
Yeah.
Two-part question. How did you start to recognize that you were kind of in this rut, and also how do you pull yourself out? Is it just as simple as talking to somebody? And how, like, what you said, people can help you. What does that help look like?
Yeah. So I mean, when I how I got myself out, when I recognized it was like how we said earlier. Like I just noticed that I didn't have like the social skills I once had. I wasn't as sociable as I was. Like I wasn't as easily approachable. Like I kind of looked like I was upset all the time, and I didn't really want to be where I was at or do what I was doing. And there was kind of just that point where it kind of just triggered, and I was like, I don't want to feel this way. Like I don't want to do what I'm doing. And then I just found, honestly, I picked up different hobbies. I started doing the things that I once enjoyed a lot more, and I focused on, and started putting like the thoughts that I was having towards myself back into whatever the hobbies I was doing, or like the different things that I like wanted to actually do and that I once enjoyed. And it was just the more I started focusing on those things, it kind of got me out of my head and like focused more on like building my future, building my life, and like enjoying it. Like we're not here forever, man.
Yeah.
You gotta enjoy what you have left. So
did you kind of start realizing that you're becoming less of yourself?
Yeah, I kind of felt selfless. Like I didn't feel like myself, but I didn't know what I was.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't want to portray like, and that was like when we were talking about social media. Like I was posting a bunch of random shit, a bunch of stuff everywhere, and it was like I knew that wasn't me. I knew that wasn't the person I was,
mm-hmm.
and I just kind of started cutting back on a lot of those things and started like just having normal conversations with people, and those normal conversations were actually helping me because it was helping me understand the issues I had within myself.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's how people can help. It's just fucking...
Yeah.
All right, let's talk.
Yeah, like get whatever you have out, dude.
Yeah, it's not super taxing to help somebody. Just literally hear what they have to say. And I will say, much like yourself, at least what it sounds like, on social media, I always, like, if I'd see people, like, post, like, you know, some emotional shit just randomly, oftentimes they delete it after, but you'd see it, and I was just, like, I felt, like, really bad, but I also don't know how to, like, help, and also didn't know if, like, you know, this is, most of the time, it wasn't, like, a close friend of mine. If it was, I would just, you know, hey, the fuck's going on, let's talk. But it'd be, like, somebody who, like, I somewhat know, but not very well, so it's, like, do I say anything to them? But point being, I would see them posting like that, and like, oh, I feel so bad. Like, that's shitty. You know, why would they do that? Also, why would they do that? Just talk to their friends. But then I fucking did it. And like, I have friends. I have several friends I could have went to, but I still kept fucking setting off some bullshit. And oftentimes my friends would be like, hey, what's going on? And I would just, I did nothing. Or I would delete it before anybody saw it. So it's like, why the fuck did I feel the need to do that? So I don't know if that's what you did, but it sounds like maybe
it kind of was, honestly. Like, I would just catch myself, like, there were, like, I had friends that kind of, like, put me in check and was just like, yo, are you alright? Like, what's going on? And then it was those same people that, like, when I noticed, they would, like, even just send me, like, hey, what's up? Hey, what's going on? Like, are you alright? Like, those were kind of, like, comforting moments where it was like, okay, even though I didn't respond to them, they still helped me in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Because they helped me realize, like, hey, whatever you're going through, there's people here for you. And it's like, you can talk about your issues, but they didn't say it directly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not like they want me to open up to them, but they don't want me to, like, nobody, I don't know how to really explain it, because I'm sorry, it's a really tough subject for me.
No, you're okay.
No, it's just like, the people, they say that, like, they want to help you, but some of those people you, like you just said, like, it comes from people that are either really close to you or some people that you're maybe not that close with. And even those people that, like, that you're not that close with say things to you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm following.
don't like you have that kind of like defensive like stance where you don't know if do they really want to be there for you, or are you just saying this to get a reaction out of me?
Yeah, or to find out some more bullshit so you can go...
Yeah, and go explain it to somebody else or do something else with it. And it's like, that's just not right. And I feel like if you have friends or you have people that are going through some stuff, to reach out to them and make sure they're okay, because it's a scary world we're living in now. Especially with everything else and the pandemic and everybody kind of being locked inside, it brings out like those inner demons that a lot of people don't know they have.
Yeah. I 100% agree. I think it goes back to whether it's people seeing it on social media or you talking about it, it has to be known. So you need to either tell somebody or they need to see it. And like I said, I would post shit, but I delete it so nobody ever saw it. Or if they did, it was like people who don't really give a shit anyway. But once I said something, it was fixed. So the quickest or the most effective way to fix it, in my opinion, would be let it be known. Yeah. Somehow, I would recommend telling somebody.
Yeah.
But somehow it needs to be known that you have an issue because, like you said, it is very scary. There's lots of unfortunate situations where you don't think somebody has an issue, and then when you find out that they do, it's too late, and that is a fucking knife in the heart.
Yeah, so. For real. It really is. And I think that just people don't communicate like that anymore. And if for the people that are feeling bad and do have like the depression and anxiety, it kind of just puts them in a position where they feel like they can't reach out because they don't know the reaction they're going to get. Like nowadays you can get called a psycho, you can get called weird, you can get called so many different names, and people take that so personally. And like to a person that has those issues, I feel like it affects them 3 times as much. Mm-hmm. Because like there would be conversations like where I'd be just sitting there like bullshitting with my buddies, and they would say something to me, and like it wouldn't offend me, but it would just kind of like hit me in a different spot where you're just like, all right, well, yeah, now we're kind of like on a different page here. This isn't fun anymore. And you kind of just walk away, but then like it becomes a repetitive thing where they didn't mean to offend you. They didn't mean to say like that anyway, but they don't know what you're going through. Yeah. And how are they supposed to know? Because you're not making it any visible. Yeah. And that was like the one thing about me is like I got to the point where I started making it visible. Like I started walking around like mean mugging everything and not being sociable and stuff like that. And people started putting me in check for it. Like, hey, especially my friend Sophia, he would put me like, dude, this guy would literally come over and just start like teasing me, just start messing with me, just like pulling, like just trying to get under my skin basically to make me like open up. And that played like a big part of it. Yeah. And I feel like everybody needs that one person, you know? Yeah, I mean, like just somebody to lift them up out of the trenches every once in a while. Yeah, exactly. They can kind of go back and forth on, so it's not constantly one person. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I will say that's what you were saying is kind of tough too. Like if you're hanging out with some buddies and somebody says something that just doesn't hit you right, it's like, for me anyway, it's very awkward. It's like, okay, do I make a big deal out of it every single time this happens? And like, just because my feelings are like very mildly either upset or offended, or do I, kind of shudder it aside and then kind of take it internally, and then maybe it accumulates or maybe it stops. It's just something weird because like I encounter that a lot with people that I would say are my friends and family. They'll say something, I'm just like, I don't fucking know about that, or like I really don't agree with that. But every single situation that happens, I like do an analysis in my head, like, okay, is it worth me bringing this up to not, like, are we gonna fight about this? Or we're not gonna be friends? Like, does it bother me that much? And usually I say it doesn't bother me that much, so I don't fucking bring it up. But then I'm starting to realize that the less and less I bring things up, it will snowball. It will snowball and accumulate. And now there's so many instances of weird feelings I never brought up, and now it's really frustrating me. And now when I try to explain it to somebody, it's like, well, I can't recall all those instances because they happened so long ago. It's an accumulation of all these things you said, and now they're pissing me off. And then they're like, well, dude, what the fuck? Like, yeah. You can't explain why you're mad? Yeah. And now you're like, it's like, does that make any sense? Because I have that all the time. Yeah. It's like, fuck. Dude, no, I literally know exactly what you're talking about because, like, you'll have those instances where like there's just so many little things that build up, but you don't even care about all of them. Like it's just they've all formed into this one thing that you can't even explain. Like they'll ask you for examples or stuff like that, and you're just like, no, I don't like.
I don't have any.
Yeah, I don't care about that. Like I'm just pissed about this. Like why? Like and you can't explain yourself, and you get put in a position where you're just kind of stuck.
Yeah.
And then it either makes things worse and frustrates you, or it makes things. It never honestly kind of never makes things better when you just build stuff up, because then when it all comes out, you're gonna make somebody mad.
Yeah. Well, and also you can't explain yourself, so it's like you're gonna create this confrontation, and then they're gonna want to get like, okay, why do you feel that way? Maybe I am being a dick, but tell me why. And you're like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it's just an accumulation. So it's like that kind of tells me if there's a small thing, you should address it. But at the same time, it's like if every single time we have a disagreement, I address it, you're gonna be like, yo, this guy's such a fucking whiny baby.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's so frustrating. I don't know what the right line is. I don't want to be that guy that's like, don't really invite him around because someone's gonna say something that's gonna be turn into a conversation I don't want to have. But also, I don't want to keep having, times go by where I feel kind of shitty about people that I'm supposed to love, and I just kind of have to like put that aside because I don't know how to bring it up because I can't name all the times that they've said something or did something that doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah. So
it's really weird trying to check and balance yourself of, okay, do I like that or not, and do I bring it up or not? Yeah,
and it's almost like how do you like you just said with that perfect, like how do you find that perfect point? Like because there's no way to tell. It's like there's no way to. You get to a point where you have so much stuff built up that you just have no, like, you don't even want to tell anybody anymore. Yeah. You're just dealing with it.
Yeah, you just want it to be gone.
Yeah, you just want it to be gone, but you don't want to take the steps to actually get rid of it.
Yeah.
And those steps could be just as simple as, like, stopping it right when it happens, like you said, or you stop it right when it first happens and you risk being that person that is a whiny baby.
Yeah.
Or you let it build up, and now you're at war with yourself, and you're not even. Those examples don't even mean anything to you anymore.
Yeah, and it's also like your perfect line of that, what that looks like, might be completely different than mine. Maybe out of 10 instances, your idea is complaining for 5 of them, but I'm thinking 5 is way too many or way too little. Like I want you to complain for 2 of them. That's enough. So it's like I might think I'm being appropriate with how I handle it, but the person I'm handling it with might be like, yo. You should have said something a long time ago, or, yo, stop fucking complaining.
Yeah, and also that could change that friendship with that person, or change the way that person looks at you, or the way you look at that person.
And that's the thing, though. It's like, are these big enough scenarios to where I want to change this friendship? I don't know.
Dude, I know exactly what you mean by that, because, like, there's been instances where I've, like, with people that I used to talk to, and even with people I still talk to, like, where there's certain things they do that drive me absolutely insane. But am I going to say anything about it? No, because it doesn't affect me that much to where I want to ruin or change a friendship that I have with this person.
Yeah, I fucking agree 100%. Because I fucking put all my energy into friendships and relationships. Like, I do not want to have bad blood, and I don't want, if I have, like, a friendship that's, like, long-lasting, I want to see that through 100% of the time. Like, I do not want it to stop. So it's like, that's why it's really hard for me to, like, want to bring something up that might affect that friendship. So it's like, can I just handle it by myself? I really don't want to lose this friend.
Yeah.
Not because I feel like I need them, but I even if there's something I don't like about somebody, I'm keeping them around because the majority of things about them, I love them for their strengths and their weaknesses. Like their upsides and downfalls. Like I love you through it all. So it's like, but if I tell you the shit I don't like, are you gonna fucking bounce?
Yeah, are you gonna get offended and stop talking to me, or are you gonna get offended and like not hit me up as much and come around and be a different person, or like what? It just, I don't know. It just sucks. It's like that. Yeah. There's just that point where you're just kind of like, you just let it go.
And what if somebody did that to you? Like, even though they said, hey, Trevor, I like you for your strengths and weaknesses, but this shit bothers me. You'd like to think that you'd react well to it, but would you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
See, and that's the thing. Like, I would sit here and say, like, right when you said that, like, my first thing is I immediately thought, like, if you were to say that to me, I would want to know all of my like weaknesses, but at the same time, it would depend on who it was coming from.
Yeah, and how harsh they delivered it.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, the way you say things could change everything about a sentence. Like you could say something 3 different ways, and it could have 3 different meanings, but all be the same words.
Yeah.
And I just think that like I want to believe that if like you have an issue with me, or you have like there's things you don't like about me, you would tell me. But at the same time, I don't want to say that, because now literally my friends are literally going to come up to me and be like, oh, I hate you for this, I hate you for that.
Yeah, maybe not.
And, we'll see.
Don't snowball. Don't pile it all on them at once.
Yeah, exactly. And I just wouldn't, I don't know. I'm kind of losing track on this one. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's a tough one.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things where you react when it happens. You can't plan it premeditated. But this would be a good time to segue, because we talked a lot about mental health, into a mental health tip that you might have. So anything, I always like to ask my guests to end the podcast of something that they do that helps them find joy and happiness in life, or if they're having a bad mental health day, what did they do to try to combat that?
So my mental health tip would be find something that you truly care about, like something that you really, really enjoy. Because no matter what type of way, it's like a kid. Like, you know, a kid's crying, you give him ice cream, he's going to be happy every single time. So it's like, I feel like we all have that, like ice cream. Like there's always something that you can go back to and will make you happy. And my thing is just find that and stick with it. And it will more than likely change the way you're feeling at the time and make you feel better.
Okay.
Because like that was for me, like, you know, growing up, like I loved watching motocross, loved riding dirt bikes, loved doing all that, but then got away from it because I was so sidetracked on so many other things. And then while I was going through the things that I did, I started looking back into like, man, you know, I really miss doing this. Like I really like doing this. I feel like I'd get some enjoyment out of that. And then it was as soon as I started riding my bike more, went and got back on a dirt bike, started playing hockey more, started doing all that, that's when I saw like the pivot change in my life. So I would recommend that for anybody. Like just find the one thing you truly care about and go do it.
Okay, so your ice cream would be dirt bikes and BMXing and stuff like that.
Yeah,
watching or riding.
Dirt bikes, cars, anything I can physically put my hands on.
Okay.
So, because I mean that's kind of my escape. It's like that's the one things I can do where I have to be focused on what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not focused on what I'm doing, then well,
you might get injured.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Or an accident. I like that tip. So, Trevor, thank you for coming on, man. It's fun reconnecting with you and having this discussion. This is where I kind of have to introduce something that is very fitting for this episode, because we did spend some time talking about mental health. So, sorry that you have to sit here and listen to this, but beginning May 3rd through the end of the month, My Hood, which is what I created last year, is partnering with the Detroit Children's Foundation to sell hoodies, t-shirts, sweatshirts, long sleeve t-shirts, and hats that have a really cool design by Thomas Hamilton. And all of the profits from this initiative will go towards research and help for children's mental health. And as we've kind of already touched on today, mental health is important to you, to me, and we're on episode 20, and so far every single person that's come on has had something to say about mental health. So it's something that really affects us all, and it's something that should be at the forefront of what we're doing. So be on the lookout for that. I'm super excited to share the design with you. Tommy did a kick-ass job, and it was partially designed by anybody who's given a mental health tip, whether it be on the podcast or on the Facebook post I had a couple months back. So just had to do a shameless plug because we're trying to raise as much money as we can. So anyway, thanks for sitting through that. If you'd like to be a guest on this podcast, please send me a message at TIMM Podcast on Instagram, or text me, or call me, or if you're Trevor's friend and listening to this, ask him to ask me. Somehow get on this. I want to talk to you. If you don't mind, please like and subscribe and leave a review. There's only one review, and shout out Carla Yanez for that. So if you have Apple Podcasts, leave a review. Just give me feedback. Text me, good, bad, anything. I want to know the bad shit about me or about how I conduct this. Give me some topics that you'd like discussed. All of that. Anyway, thanks again, Trevor. It was fun. Any closing remarks?
I was just going to say thank you for having me. It was a pleasure to be here, and I really like what you're doing and where this is going, and hopefully be back again.
I appreciate it, man. If you do end up having that podcast that you were telling me about before here, maybe you'll have to come on.
Oh, buddy, you'll definitely have a spot.
Sounds good. We'll be on the lookout for that. All right, guys, until next week. Thank you.